Out in space, things feel simple. Stars shine, planets spin, and reality mostly behaves. But then you ask an AI a question, and it answers with total confidence, even when it's wrong. That wrong but confident output is what people call an AI hallucination, and it's not rare, not magical, and not a bug in the usual sense. It's a predictable side effect of how these systems work. A modern language AI doesn't know facts the way you do. It doesn't look things up unless it's connected to a retrieval tool. Most of the time, it's doing something simpler. It predicts what comes next. Under the hood, it's a huge web of learned connections, patterns compressed from a massive amount of training data. When you type a prompt, the system searches its internal pattern space for the most likely continuation, word by word, sentence by sentence. And that's the key word, likely, not verified, likely. When the question is common, the most likely answer often matches reality, so it looks like knowledge. But when the question is ambiguous, niche, or missing context, the system still has to produce something. Silence isn't an option. So it fills the gap with the most plausible-sounding pattern it can assemble. That's how hallucinations form, not from intent to deceive, but from pattern completion without grounding. Think of it like a network lighting up. Most paths flow cleanly toward a sensible answer, but sometimes the network activates similar patterns that don't actually belong, and the output drifts sideways into something that sounds right while being wrong. This is why hallucinations feel real. The AI is extremely good at the style of correctness, the tone, the structure, the confidence. If you ask for a study, it knows what studies look like, so it can generate an author list, a journal name, a year, and a conclusion, even if none of it exists. It can fabricate citations, invent quotes, or describe tools, policies, or historical events that never happened. And because the language is smooth, your brain treats it like trustworthy communication. Now picture the AI as a giant lab full of servers, energy flowing through them. Most of the time, the flow forms stable shapes, sensible connections. But if the input is vague, or the system is pushed beyond what it can reliably infer, tiny errors start to spark. Those sparks are usually small: a wrong date, a misattributed claim, a made-up detail that fits. But if you keep going, the sparks multiply, and suddenly you're holding a polished, coherent answer that's built on a false core. At that point, the hallucination can detach like a floating bubble of confident nonsense. It can drift into your notes, your email, your report, your code base. And now it's not just wrong, it's contagious. Because once a hallucination is written down, other systems and people can treat it as input, and the mistake spreads. This is where it can impact you, personally, not an abstract theory, but in ordinary life. If you use AI to summarize a topic and it inserts one fake fact, your understanding gets skewed. If you ask for advice and it assumes details you never gave, you can end up making choices based on a fictional version of reality. In code, hallucinations show up as functions that don't exist, libraries that sound real, or configurations that almost work, until they fail in the worst place: production. In writing for school or work, hallucinated references can make a report look strong while quietly undermining it. In law and medicine, hallucinations are more than embarrassing. They can be dangerous. A confident error in a high-stakes context is not quirky, it's risk. So what do you do, besides throw your laptop into the ocean? First, treat AI output as a draft, not a final answer. It's a generator, not a witness. Second, demand grounding when it matters. For anything important, you verify. Cross-check claims with reliable sources. If the model gives you specifics, you confirm them. If it cites something, you locate it. If you can't find it, assume it may be fabricated. Third, reduce ambiguity in your prompts. Hallucinations love vague questions. If you want accuracy, give constraints, context, and what you already know. Ask the AI to separate what it's confident about from what it's inferring, and to tell you what evidence it's using when possible. Also, watch for the danger signs: overconfidence, unusually neat explanations, lots of precise details that you didn't request, citations that are impossible to verify, a feeling that the answer is too perfect. Now, models can be improved. One major fix is adding external retrieval, so the AI pulls from real documents and then answers from that material. Another fix is training methods that reward admitting uncertainty instead of guessing. These reduce hallucinations, but they don't erase them. Because the core engine still predicts plausible output, and plausible is not the same as true. So the real solution is a partnership. The AI generates possibilities, and you provide judgment. The goal isn't to never use AI, it's to use it like a powerful tool that sometimes slips, like a GPS that occasionally routes you into a lake. You don't stop driving, you just keep your eyes open. In the end, hallucinations aren't mystical. They're what happens when pattern prediction is asked to behave like truth. If you remember one thing, make it this. The AI can sound certain even when it's guessing, so your job is to be the reality check. Hold the glowing orb, keep the noise away, and you'll get the benefits without letting fiction drive the decisions.